I played piano and went to school my whole life for it and had no real concept of money. You know, you could make a million mistakes and nothing will happen to you. You don't need money really that much at all to survive in college. When I started to realize that wasn't quite real life, and I need to make some money. One of my other students was like, hey, you know, who is a businessman and a musician as well. He was like, you know, you should create an academy and let me show you the potential of what can happen. And I did it. And it just worked. Things just started coming into place.
Hey there everyone, welcome to another episode of the Jack Boss Show, where we talk about all things real estate, finance, and entrepreneurship. And today we're going to hit on the third one of those three. And we're going to talk about how to take something you absolutely love, something you're really good at, and turn it into a really cool business. And we're going to do that at the example of music. And my guest today is Dr. Micheal Guida, renowned pianist, also piano teacher of our daughter and for a while of myself, right? And he started right now an absolute amazing piano school. And the concept is so brilliant, everything around it is so great that I wanted to bring him on here to talk about piano and hopefully also to have him play some music. So with that said, welcome, Micheal.
Thank you very much, Jack, for having me on the show.
Wonderful.
I appreciate it.
I'm super excited to have you here. We wanted to have you forever. I mean, we are so excited. Like Sophia's been, her piano has been blooming ever since you are her teacher. So, but let's jump right into it. So you tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Sure. Yeah. So basically, like you said, you know, I'm a pianist. I'm a piano instructor and entrepreneur. You know, I created my own music school a few years back and hired some really amazing piano teachers so far. We have a very strong piano program. And yeah, I mean, we're just looking to give back and really teach people how to play the piano at a high level, you know, right from scratch. Yeah.
So let's we'll talk about that a little bit in just a second more. But let's talk about you first.
Yes.
First, how long have you been playing piano?
I've been playing for like 23 years.
Right, and you actually don't just play piano and happen to be some kind of, I mean that any offense to any other piano teacher, some run-of-the-mill piano teacher, but you actually went to university for music, right?
I did.
For piano, and you got a PhD in music, right?
Yes, so it's the performance equivalent of a PhD called a DMA,
okay.
Doctor of Musical Arts. So yeah, I've done school like my whole life. It's been a long road. You know, went to University of Denver for my undergrad and my master's, and then I went to UT Austin for my doctorate. And yeah, I mean, it's been a very tough road, but I'm glad to be here. And, you know, I've kind of, ever since I got out of school, I've, you know, gotten students and taught students, hundreds of them, and have a lot of students in my studio, and then yeah, you know, created this online music school. So that's kind of just my background. But you know, I'm a real music lover. You know, I'm a pianist, a romanticist, you know, if you will. I pour my emotion into the music, and that's what I kind of specialize in. So
yeah. And I mean, I heard him play, and we'll hear him play a little bit later on. But I mean, he will blow you away. This is amazing how you play. So
I appreciate that.
Like first time I heard you play, I was like, holy cow, this is next level. This is like really amazing. And so yeah, don't fast forward to the point where he's playing, just stay with us until you get to the point where we'll have him play some. With that said, great. So now one thing about pianos is, piano players is, it's not a profession that you typically can get wealthy with. Mm-hmm. Right? Because I mean, how many pianists in the world are there that come to mind that anyone can go say like, oh yeah, I know this guy or this guy, that fill up stadiums or that fill up concert halls.
Yeah,
it's not
less than 0.01%, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Of the top players on top. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So you chose a different path, which I which I want to now explore a little bit. Yeah. And the first path was interesting when we connected to the Nextdoor app, I think.
Yeah, we did.
I went on the Nextdoor app here in the neighborhood, and I said like, hey, we just lost our piano teacher. It's like, any piano teacher, and either you came forward or somebody recommended you. I don't remember. But then we connected and we had a test class, and it was fantastic. It was like great, but then we come to find out that you really. How did you make that you split your days in a way, right? You graduated from your doctorate, and then you did something really different. You spent your morning doing what?
Yes. So something very, very unrelated, stock trading. I mean, you hear a ton of stories of, on Instagram, day traders making, tons of money and buying Lambos and all that stuff. I'm not going to lie, those ads kind of hooked me a little bit. I'll back up a little bit. When I played piano and went to school my whole life for it and had no real concept of money. It's kind of a fairy tale land, when you're in school, you could make a million mistakes and nothing will happen to you, kind of thing. You don't need money really that much at all to survive in college. And then after, when I started to realize, hey, that wasn't quite real life, and I need to make some money. I did start to. I've always been teaching to make money, but I got into stock trading, and the whole thing about it was I saw some advertisements about data collection and trading based off of data. So I essentially learned, to make a long story short, I learned how to code, on my own.
Okay.
And create algorithms, essentially, to collect data and to backtest strategies in the land of stocks. So I did that for about, like a year and a half, and then started, and it really took like everything I had to learn how to code and make all that stuff and build the databases and everything. And then I took a $10,000 account into $100,000 in like 3 months with this pattern that I found.
You're gonna have probably people reaching out to you now. It's like, how do you do that? How do you do that?
I know, right?
But the thing is, the fascinating thing about that is, and I heard that and read that multiple times, that math and music are very closely related to each other.
It's true.
Do you find that to be true?
It is. Well, with music, there's a lot of logic involved. Mm-hmm. In the most basic form, you have rhythm and you have counting, right? So if something's, 4 beats in a measure, it's an equal 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4. And being able to stay on rhythm and count very well, just in its basic form. So there is definitely an analytical side that you develop.
And once you go into things like Rachmaninoff or something like that, it's like complex math. It's like trigonometry at that point of music.
Calculus, yeah.
Calculus of music, yeah.
No, but also actually a very important aspect. It's as much emotional as it is logical. So you need to be good at the analytical side, the logical side, and the, just being able to really analyze a piece in its theory, but you have to pour your entire soul into playing. And that I find is rare in the music community. You see a lot of professional players who are just as accurate as can be, who can play very fast and wow the whole audience. But the real, moments that I've cherished in my life are going into a concert and not necessarily hearing the fastest player or the one who played, the toughest piece, but one who really spoke in volumes their emotion, right? Their outpour of passion, right, into the piece. So that's really what I'm all about. But yeah, there's both.
And that is actually another piece that wowed us when we started working together. As a matter of fact, you taught me for about a year and a half during COVID or so.
Yeah.
And then I got too busy again. But I got it. I played until I was like 10 years old. My parents then let me weasel out, which that's with our 15-year-old, we don't let her weasel out. But then, and she now appreciates it. She actually now is at the point where she plays well enough that she says that she actually enjoys it, that she actually has fun with it, and that she doesn't want to stop. Which is really, really exciting. And that's where we wanted to get her to. But the point is, with all other teachers that we had in the past, it was all about mechanics. Right? And with you, well, of course, mechanics play a role, is important. Yes. But what I mean by it is all about playing the piece accurately. Right? With you spend just as much time with your students on playing it emotionally and really letting the piece come out and sing and phrase it and so on. And when you taught me, I love that part. And when Sophia, she's really embracing that and not with her physical. She's very stiff when she sits there, but she actually when she plays it, the sound comes out really beautifully, and that's what makes people connect. I mean, if you don't know what I mean, if you ever listen to a song that somebody just said mechanically, and it's a song where somebody pours their heart in, one is, okay, that's a nice song. The other one brings you to tears. And you can do the exact same thing on the piano. Yes. And you're the master of that. That's really, I really admire how you do that, and how you can actually also convey that to your students.
Yeah. I remember when we were taking lessons, you played Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Mm-hmm. You should play play that clip in here. Yeah.
We got the clip, but we don't. I don't even know if I could play it anymore. But no. Yeah.
No, but you did a wonderful job, and Sophia does a wonderful job, and I was astounded at how much you got out of those pieces and how much Sophia gets out of those pieces, and it's something that I really care to share with my students and have them really connect on a much deeper level than just reading notes, right? And doing some dynamics or just getting the right rhythms, right? This is going very, very deep, and you can do it from day one. A lot of people think you need years of experience to do that. I start teaching those concepts from, the first time we sit down. And so that's what it's all about. Yeah.
Now let's transition over to this is obviously you did day trading and successfully and all great, and that helped you make some money. So you did it in the morning while now the kids are in school, and in the afternoon when the kids are out of school and have time for the classes, you then taught, and you still do. And but then at some point of time, all of a sudden, COVID hit.
Yeah.
And COVID is really the death for any one-to-one in-person, or was a death for any one-to-one in-person kind of situation, right? And so what is it that you did in order to survive during COVID? And then how did that turn into an actual opportunity?
That's a great question. COVID brought a huge opportunity to, it hurt a lot of businesses, but I think it was a great kind of wake-up call that people need to adapt to what happens in life, right? And so here I am teaching all in-person lessons, and what do we have to do? I can't have anybody in my studio. We need to transition to online lessons, and a lot of people are kind of worried about
FaceTime, basically.
Yeah, FaceTime or Zoom lessons or whatever, right? Any platform that works. A lot of people are worried about online lessons, and it's like, oh well, I'm kind of more of a hands-on person, or I need but it's like, I mean, you did it with me for over a year.
That's actually when I started, because I finally was like, okay, I don't have the time to drive 20 minutes and then come back. I mean, we did it for Sophia, but Micheal and I took turns, and but now it's like, hey, we just go on, turn FaceTime on, put it on the keyboard, and in the way that you can see me in the keyboard, and we started having the classes, and we realized it is probably 97% as effective than before. Like, could you technically not grab my hand and do something, which you don't do anyway? But I hated that when I was little and teachers would just grab my hand and do stuff there.
Right.
But you don't do that anyway. But could you technically, is there a few things that it would be really beneficial to see, to have the person be next to each other? Yeah, but this is like 3% of the 100%.
Yeah.
So you can basically be 97%, 98% as efficient and effective, or actually as effective and way more efficient, because you don't have to travel anywhere, you don't have to wait till the other person is done, and because you can walk in and do it from at home, right?
Exactly. You're absolutely right. And I've just kind of teaching online for so many years now, I've seen basically no difference in the progression of an online student versus an in-person student.
Actually, after COVID was over, we actually started coming back for like 3 or 4 weeks, and we're like, you know what? Screw that. Let's go back to online.
Yeah. I mean, Sophia takes with me online every single week.
Yeah.
You guys live, 25 minutes down the road, but it doesn't matter. It's just convenient and it works. So this kind of, COVID hit, this opportunity hit. All my lessons went online, and I kind of going back to the financial side of things. And I think this pertains a lot to real estate and a lot of businesses. If you work for every dollar that you make, you will never become wealthy.
Right.
You will be working till the day you die, basically, potentially. And so I kind of had this idea. Actually, one of my students gave me the idea. He was a businessman, and he said, "Hey, you should create your own music."
You also have adult students like me, for example.
Yeah.
But when there is a recital, which you do twice a year, that's when we do meet in person. Then there's from 4-year-olds to 60-year-olds that actually present there. Yeah.
Exactly. So one of my other students was like, "Hey, who is a businessman and a musician as well." He was like, "You should create an academy, and let me show you the potential of what can happen." And so we had a lot of talks about it, and I did it. I started to hire some teachers, and I just found some students, and it just worked. Things just started coming into place, and it was wonderful. And I was like, wow, this is kind of like passive income, while at the same time doing something that I absolutely love, right?
So in essence, what you've basically created now, it's called the Apollo Music.
Apollo Academy of Music. Yep.
Apollo Academy of Music, and the website is apolloacademyofmusic.com. We'll put it into, probably put an overlay over here or something and put it into the show notes too. But if you listen to it, make sure you go into the show notes. But basically what you did is like, you now realize that with online classes, you can teach people that are more than driving distance away from you.
Yep.
Because in the past, if you didn't have a teacher close by, that's it, right?
Yeah, and it's like, that's exactly right. So, a lot of people, if you live in a small town, or if you just live in a place where you might have some piano teachers around, but it's kind of your average Joe down the street who's been playing for a few years and can kind of teach a little bit, and or something like that. This is not that. I've worked extremely hard to gather world-class musicians, world-class pianists. At this point, we have a very strong piano program and looking to expand to other instruments very soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the reason behind getting very good players to teach is because they know how to teach beginners the best, right? And a lot of people come to us and they have never played before, and if you don't have a good teacher teaching you from the very beginning, a lot of things can go wrong and bad habits can form right from the start, right? Especially, I see it all the time with like self-taught people too. They think they go to YouTube, they try to learn a little bit, and they watch all these videos. But if you don't have someone actually watching your hands and listening to everything you're doing and giving you constant...
Which, by the way, you can. I mean, you can on the video. Like you see, I'm amazed. Sometimes we're in our house here right now. So over there is our piano, and behind the piano is a couch. And I sometimes lay on the couch while Sophia is having the piano classes because I just love listening to her play. And sometimes I fall asleep because it's so beautiful, and it lulls me to sleep. But I also notice how you say like, "Hey Sophia, I see your pinky finger is extended. Make sure you put it properly in place, right? Because there's nothing lost on the virtual world, and I love that. So you create really, really great players because that makes total sense.
Yeah. Exactly. No, we've had a lot of people come through now, and some people actually have won some competitions too from our school, which is great. I'm just astounded and very proud of what we've really created. And you
said it right, because even like your reputation now precedes you, and you only have so many hours a day that you can teach yourself. Yeah. So with this program, you now have really created the triple win, which is the best wins you can create. Yeah. You've created a win for other fantastic teachers that don't necessarily have the business acumen you have, and don't necessarily have the marketing skills and the entrepreneurial kind of thing. They just play fantastically piano and have no idea how to get the word out, right? Then at the same time, you've created a win for now students from anywhere. Like for that one, we have a place on Hawaii. And when we go on place on Hawaii, we bought a keyboard for Sophia there. And guess what? When she's in Hawaii, boom, FaceTime. There's her piano class while she's in Hawaii. So we can, you even did one when she was in Germany with my parents' place, right? Mm-hmm. My dad has a piano at home. So it's like, hey, no excuses. You're in vacation, but you're 2-3 weeks with grandma and grandpa. You're doing piano classes. Yeah. And so it literally shows just how location independent it is. So you can be anywhere in the world, really. And as long as you can figure out a time slot that works, go engage you guys and work with it and enroll in the school. Be put together with a fantastic teacher that's like amazing quality and that shares your values of musicality and those kind of things. And at the third win, obviously, so the students win, and the third win is obviously you create a successful business. Yeah. Right? That creates cash flow that is scalable. Really, there's no limit to the scalability of this.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Yeah, that was the one of the beautiful things about being online is I can hire an infinite amount of teachers and get an infinite amount of students. Right. Exactly right. Yeah, it's really a wonderful thing. And on that point, we started to grow. I mean, we grew a ton last year, and I was getting kind of overwhelmed. It's just me running the program, but and a lot of teachers under me. And as we were growing, I was enjoying every minute of it. Even down to the last email. It was like I was writing tons of emails and doing a lot of marketing and sales and just payment, subscriptions, all that stuff. It's just it was a lot. I enjoyed it very much, but it became a lot. So what I said to myself was, you know what? Either I need to hire somebody to help me, which I did, which actually didn't work out very well. So I had to do it again.
Welcome to the club. Hiring is. I just wrote down something that my biggest challenge and my biggest project for this year is to become really amazing at hiring. And we have had a business for 22 years now. Yeah. And I'm still not good at hiring. So welcome to the club.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, it's tough. And so I hired a few people, and but what really made the difference, going back to my coding days which were I spending tons of time learning how to automate things. I decided I need to automate this academy. And one thing about entrepreneurship is you need to create a repeatable system, a process, that kind of makes your whole ecosystem go around. And so I did that. I took 4 months of waking up and going to bed, coding all day. I coded every single process in my academy, down to emails and payroll and just a student schedule and reschedules, and I mean you name it. I automated it. So that's really kind of freed up a lot of my time to get back to really what matters, and that's growing this community. So
wow. There we go. You thought you joined you thought you joined a podcast today to hear about teaching from home. Now, when you're listening to a gentleman here, Micheal, who is on his way to creating something truly amazing. Like I mean, how many teachers do you have now in the academy?
So we have 7 teachers right now in the academy.
That could easily be 500 in a couple of years from now. That
Absolutely.
There's no limit to it, and that could be the number one. And probably, what's the goal? What's the outlook?
The goal, I believe in big goals. I want, honestly, hundreds of teachers and thousands of students. That is my goal.
And how many? Yeah, of course. And I mean, if you think about it, how many people take piano lessons? Every other kid out there, like not every other kid, but in the little bit more affluent kind of population, almost everyone is at some point of time is starting to take piano classes, and many of them stop because they have boring teachers or not good teachers, or they just hire John Doe out from down the road that doesn't know how to properly teach them, and so this can completely blow up. And by the way, guys, ApolloAcademyOfMusic.com, right?
Yes.
So whether you're an adult and you want to learn, whether you're a child, whether you're a parent and you want your kids to learn and you haven't found the right teacher, whether you're an amazing pianist and you want to teach, contact Micheal.
Absolutely, yes.
Right. Very cool. So yeah, I love it. I mean, it's a fantastic model. It's a fantastic scalable model. And I love that it comes from somebody who basically says you lived in this, what do you call it? Like this kind of bubble or different world where money
fairy
didn't
tale
play.
land.
Fairy tale land, you call it. Fairy tale land, where you just basically had piano class. We played piano. Obviously, you must have practiced a lot to get to the level that you are. But where piano is everything, and then you realize, oh my God, there's in a real world, I need to make money. And you're able to pivot that into a business idea that is that could be game-changing for really the world out there, the way piano lessons are being taught.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. And it's been a good journey, and I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. This is absolutely my passion, and I want as many people to learn an instrument for an affordable price with a world-class instructor as possible. And I think people deserve that.
Yeah. So earlier you said you're thinking about expanding into different instruments.
Yeah.
What's the name? What's the first couple that you're thinking about?
Definitely.
Sounds like Amazon, right? First books and then now the.
Yeah, absolutely. Violin, guitar, singing. Those are the 3 that I really want to do next.
Makes total sense.
Yeah, exactly. Been in contact with some people. So I'm looking forward to expanding. I want a lot of instruments, basically any instrument. Eventually, I want 100 instruments. So that's what I want.
Awesome. 100 instruments, 100 teachers per instrument,
Yeah.
a million students. We're talking here. Wonderful.
Yes.
Great.
Let's
love
grow.
It.
Yes.
Okay. With that said, we have let you wait long enough. It's time to hear Dr. Micheal Guida play some music.
All right.
How about that? Should we do it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Wow, that was amazing. Now, what did you play? Because again, I played piano a little bit. My dad, I'm from Germany. There's like, you hear classical music a bit more than you do here. And my dad always played things. And so I have my guess, and I actually guess it was Schumann or something like that. Is that right?
It was, yeah. So, yeah, yeah, you are correct. Yeah, it's so that piece is called Widmung, originally written for voice and piano, and so Widmung is like a dedication, and so Franz Liszt came along, loved the piece or the song so much that he transcribed it into a piano piece and added some virtuosity. But Schumann actually, so he actually dedicated this piece to his wife as a wedding gift.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I will be getting married next year sometime.
Right.
And
congratulations.
oh, thank you. And yeah, I'm kind of dedicating it to, my fiance. So.
Wonderful, congratulations. Yeah. Yes, and he has the most wonderful fiance. That's amazing. So guys, you heard that. Like, how would you like to be taught by somebody who plays that level of piano? That's what we're here for, and that makes all the difference in the world, because I get inspired every time I hear you play. Every time I hear you play, I was like, I got to pick up classes again, right? And that happens to everyone. I mean, you didn't see her, but Sophia, my daughter, since we're doing this at home and summer break, she came out to listen to it, and she was like, whoa. And so, yeah, contact Micheal. Again, it's apolloacademyofmusic.com. Check it out, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm absolutely in love with your vision and what you want to do there, and what you're doing already here, what you're building, and congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I've loved having you as a student, and love being on your podcast too. So.
Wonderful. So with that said, guys, it's time for music. Bring music back in your life. No more excuses. You don't have to go travel to a piano teacher. If you have a piano close by and you have internet access, you can now take classes. So with that said, that completes our episode for today. As always, give us a 5-star review, share it with your friends and family. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a subscribe, ring the notification bell, put a comment below. Do all the things that we want you to do, is to spread the word, to help us reach more people. And with that said, see you at the next episode.